2. 1, 2. You're a guy that's been in fights where you're like, oh fuck, this would be death in a real fight. Here, here. I'm Rolando Haddad. I've been the Combatives instructor for the 123rd Air Force Special Tactics Unit since 2009. Today we're going to be doing their quarterly training. This week we're going to focus a lot on distance management. We're going to work on some basic striking. Boxing is the main energy that we're going to focus on this week. However, we're going to segue into the clinch. What I want them to understand is how to maintain distance with proper footwork, how to maintain distance by posting, and if those things don't work, when we get into the clinch, how to close that distance effectively and safely. Positional dominance is going to be key. The understanding of underhooks, the understanding of frames, and all of this taken into account with what the objective of the fight is. The objective of the fight and the situation of why you're in the fight matters tremendously. We want to be able to choose which modality to use, whether I'm going to box a person, whether I'm going to clinch with a person, whether I'm going to grapple with a person. Sometimes we don't have the choice, but we want to be able to transition seamlessly from one to the other. And we want them to understand when they're in the clinch, why they're in the clinch, how did they get there. And again, it's very important when I'm working with military guys for them to understand distance, because if you're working with force multipliers, if you have a firearm on, distance is your friend, right? So it might not be prudent to really close distance. The reverse could be the case where we might have to close that distance. So again, they need to understand when to do what. So we're going to do a lot of striking, but I also want to add into it the clinch component, because what I kind of want you guys to sort of see, and we'll do that via drills, is we're going to try to maintain our mobility on our feet, but sometimes that's not really the option. But we definitely want to understand that we need to probably stay on our feet. So kind of like not going to the ground. So how do we structure our body and our base and our balance, etc. That'll kind of be the objective. And so what tools do we have in that clinch environment? But mainly we will start understanding angles and footwork and how to strike and move. So that's kind of what we're going to work on. Basic stuff. Just jog it up and back just to start getting warm. So let's understand our footwork. The footwork is going to be shoulder width and shoulder width. Because of what we do, I want toes forward. I'm going to do as I step. Now I add my punches. 1, 2. 1, 2. Not such a big step. Over the footwork. Come on, yeah, this. When you throw a jab, throw a real jab. There you go. Let me tell you, the thing to being able to fight is understanding the fundamentals. We have the fundamentals down. We've got that down. We can apply those things. Everything else will build, right? And that is a universal concept. I don't care if we're fist fighting, gun fighting. It's the same type of thing. We don't want to create these gaps. And a lot of times what happens is we move too fast, try to do complicated things before we have this shit down. So this is real important what we're doing. My chin is down. I'm thinking a punch might come to my face. I'm here. Whatever you want. I have discipline of what? Not chasing punches. This is my block. This is my block. It's not that different. So even if I kind of F up a little bit with this, I still have a chance to kind of recover at the last minute. Sorry, I'm going to try to pop. I decided he's closing distance a little bit too quickly, so I'm gonna shell. What's gonna happen is that, oh my gosh, there's so many variables that I have to be very understanding of flaws of just trying to box or just trying to grapple or just it's situationally dictated. Situationally and objectively dictated. Does that make sense? So what's the situation I'm faced with? And what's my objective? If my objective is to stay in the fight, that's gonna be a little bit different than if my objective is to just get safe, right?
As I pummel this time, I'm gonna flare that left elbow and I'm gonna dump my head underneath. As I pummel in, right ear to the back, my hands are locked, my hips are low.
What I want you guys to understand is transitions. Pummel in and then I create my plane. So instead of locking up now, I'm gonna start leveraging away. I'm creating angles, I'm creating opportunities to strike, creating opportunities to separate. Still left. Nice guys. I'm here, he comes at me with punches. Oh Josh, reset. Are they? Great with angles. Angles and forward. Reset, boys. Good, reset. Go. Go ahead. Okay. Nice, nice. And high. We're here. Ahead. Boom. Distance management. There's a lot of ways to do that when we're in a clinch or when we're grappling. I like this cross neck framing because this gives me a ton of options. Because I can control this, I can control this, I can see what's going on here. I can go into body locks from here. A ton of options. I'm gonna manage distance again. Instead of just coming in here and locking up, I'm maintaining this structure. And my right knee is loaded so that I can strike. Not stress inoculation when you're getting crushed and there's nothing you can do. And if you're a guy that's been in fights or whatever, you're like, oh fuck, this would be death in a real fight because there's not a ifing thing I can do right now. I don't like being here. And if you don't like being here, you got two choices. One, you quit training because I didn't like it, or you figure it the fuck out. Like figure it out so that I minimize the chance of me being here. I certainly like to be able to negotiate from a position of power versus from a position of weakness, right? That's why my boys did this kind of stuff from the time they were little because I never wanted them to be in a position to have to negotiate because they're going to get their ass kicked because someone's imposing their will on them. I don't abide by that. And that's the formula, in my opinion, continuity of training. But the concepts that we do in here I think are super important because those things are not discussed in the traditional sport combatives, right?